Hello, Kit fans, and welcome back to Talking Kit. It's Wednesday, it's 8 p.m., which means only one thing. It's time for another edition, another episode of the greatest rank fest on the internet. It is Full Kit Rankers. I am Double A, your host, as always. Beside me, my right-hand man, James. How you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm well, very well. Looking forward to this evening's kit selection. Something a little bit different, a little bit unusual, but that's what we love in the kit community. So looking forward to tonight.
Exactly that. We're going international once again. A little sneak peek on what, if you've not seen on Twitter or whatever. We've got some great kits and a great panelist as well, which I'm looking forward to speaking to and getting more insight into these selection of kits, which is all good week so far, James.
Yeah, I mean, great week. What about you? Big week for you, surely? Or was it sort of the back end of last week?
Nothing major's gone on since the last episode, mate. I can't. I had a baby. Yeah, that's it. I think Saturday. My daughter was born. So yeah, after last week, thinking I was on baby alert, I could have gone at any time. She eventually came Saturday. Yeah, it was a mad experience. It's hard to describe. You know, I'd put it close to. I'm not saying close. It probably beats it. The treble, winning the treble, United. It's I mean.
Oh, really? Come on.
Yeah. Less blood in the treble, but yeah, it's no, it's all good, mate. And it's nice that I'll finally have someone that's gonna call me daddy without me having to pay for it. So that's just
there's that as better. Well. That is,
you know what I mean. So
yeah.
That's absolutely. It's always good. It's always good to have stuff like that in your life, I guess. But other than that, are you okay? Telling jokes, fine, all good.
All good, mate. All good. You inspired a recent set. I did a set on not being a parent, basically, and sort of the differences with that. So that was interesting. Yeah, it was good. But no, keeping busy, mate, and as always, keeping my ear to the ground when it comes to kits and so on. So no, it's good to see you, and it's good to see that you're not sleep deprived just yet. So. Have we got a delay?
That's good. Okay. Are you getting me good? All right, am I there?
Getting you. A little bit blurry. I think you might have a slight delay, but yeah, I'm good. I'm here.
All right.
I can see your face. You don't look impressed.
Right. Okay. So we should. What's that?
I said you don't look impressed. You look a bit confused. Is the Peppa Pig taking over the Wi-Fi? Is that what's happening now?
It must be. Something's going on. I'm not too sure what's happening here on this side, mate. It's not. There's snow up here today. That's probably what it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to
blame the weather.
I'm just going to blame the snow today. That's all I can do. Yeah. You got to blame someone. It's not my fault. Right. Let's get the main man on, the man we love. There's rumours or word on the street was that he was. There's word on the street that yesterday he was giving pelters to Harry Maguire down at Wembley, just for the sake of it. It is, of course, Josh, aka the Kitsman.
How we doing?
How you doing, sir? You okay?
Going all right, mate. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, we'll ride this tech storm out. Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to if we can. that would be great. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's hope it sorts itself out.
Is there a slight delay? I mean, are we now talking in sync?
I can hear you fine. It's whether you can hear me. I'm not too sure.
Oh, I can hear you crystal crystal clear. I mean, I think we've been there, and now we've got a slight breeze now. The storm has gone.
Yeah.
Fine.
There we go. Fingers crossed it stays that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this episode, Josh. I know it was your sort of idea mentioned last week on the show, and we've ran with it. So you looking forward to tonight?
I do. I think that this particular set of kits are a special one, one which I think a lot of people that follow, the account and accounts similar to ours will be aware of, but not something that's usually, on the sort of tip of everyone's tongue. The Canadian Premier League, I think, really, really is a special place right now, and the fact that they've just qualified for the World Cup as well is going to just project them so far. I think it's really worth celebrating. So, massive success to them, and hopefully we can bring a little bit more sort of knowledge to the masses tonight.
Well, this is what we're hoping for. So so for those that don't know, we are ranking the home shirts for each team of the 2022 Canadian Premier League season. I believe it's the 4th season. We're going to, if my research is right. So, us three on this side of the pond over in good old England, I personally don't know a lot about the league. So we thought we have to get an expert on, someone who can teach us the ways, be our sort of Jedi master, as you will, for everything. So we've probably got the best person available to do so. It is Adam Jenkins. Good afternoon over there. Is it for you? Good evening.
Yes. Good afternoon on my end. 3 p.m. here. I feel right at home. You're talking about snow, and for someone who's been working for a broadcaster for a few years in a pandemic, I'm used to the odd video and audio delay. But everybody's sounding and looking great. Let me extend my congratulations as well, AA, on the new little one. That's some massive news. You'll be inundated with Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig for all of eternity. And on the Canadian side, I guess you're welcome, or I'm sorry for Paw Patrol. You'll have to let me know on that one as it moves on. But no, I was saying to some of my friends, explaining to what I was going to do, and they're like, "We thought you were the only person that cared as much about kit as you do." And I was like, well, let me tell you, there's a whole other country with some gentlemen full, also kit nerds. And look, I'm really looking forward to it, and just happy to be an ambassador for the league I know so well, and the league I love. Nobody in the world probably knows more or cares as much as I do about the Canadian Premier League, and I'm happy to share it with the masses.
It's amazing.
Brilliant. Yeah, like I said, off behind the screen, we're massively appreciative that you wanted to spend a bit of time with us and help us rank these kits. It's always great to have people that we're meeting people from the community all the time. This show is one of the reasons for that, and it's great to get someone like yourself on the show. So yeah, again, thank you so much for wanting to be a part of it tonight.
Oh, my pleasure.
Brilliant. So yeah, just before we get into it, if it is your first time talking kit, do like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get the numbers up, as always, taking each milestone as we can. We're fastly approaching 200 subs, so it'd be great if you could just hit that button for us. It doesn't take nothing. It's free. Just get on it and get it done. So we'll get into this week's kit. So obviously there's only 8 teams in the Canadian Premier League. So there's 8 kits. So that's a total of 40 points is the maximum that they could each score. So we've all ranked them individually. Sean has ranked them as well. So I've taken his scores into account. But he's not here tonight. He's very, very ill. I won't go into how ill he is, but he sent me pictures and I've felt quite sick. So we'll leave it at that. That's all we need to know about Sean tonight. I imagine he's watching somewhere. But yeah, get well soon, Sean. So yeah, we're just going to go through from 8 to 1. We're also going to look at a little bit different. We're going to also compare this season's shirts to last season's shirts and see, if the teams have improved or if last season's was better. So we'll get straight into it. And there's actually no number 8. So it's a good thing because no team has come bottom. So I guess no shirts that bad that it's come dead last. So joint 7th, there's 2 teams, both getting 16 points. The first one I've decided to go for is this one. If it decides to come up on ad. And it's the Atletico Ottawa shirt. And it's gone again. Wow. See, it's come straight back. There we go. Is it on? You see it? Is it all there?
There it is. Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone. No, it's there.
It's actually, I see it twice because Josh is on the left side of the screen, and then we have that in the full screen as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, is someone really disappointed that this has come joint last, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite sad, isn't it? Really, I mean, there's no bad kits here. That's the thing. Like Adam was alluding to earlier, like they're all absolutely fantastic, and I think even the one that scores last is not a bad shirt.
No. Like I say, it's a good thing that no one has come dead last. 2 teams on 16 points. So I actually ranked this the lowest in 7th, but again, it was just because I liked other kits more rather than not liking this one. We'll start with, let's go to James, because you had this with Adam. You both had this 6 in your list, yeah? So yeah, tell us your thoughts on this shirt and your overall feelings, I guess.
Yeah, I think similar to Josh, really, and perhaps what you other guys think. I think there's just better kits in the list. It's nothing personal against it. Strong Atletico Madrid vibes with this one. Quite like the cut of the collar on there, and yeah, it combines well with the sleeve finish as well. But I just think there's just better kits there. Could I just ask as well, Adam? Come on, what is that as a sponsor? Is that
Thank you for the post-traumatic stress disorder. Come on it is a new sponsor in the Canadian Premier League as of last year. So their original kit when they joined the league in 2020 was sponsored by our network, One Soccer, and then Come On came in last year to sponsor. They're an online sports gambling and casino that has jumped on board to support the league. So that is what Come On is. Yes. But though the reason for the PTSD is the ads run all the time on our network and across most Canadian TV now. So we hear it a lot. And the ad is literally just people screaming, "Come on," over and over again for 30 seconds. So that in itself is like a detractor from the kit.
Brilliant. Yeah, James, just to get back. So you said these strong Atletico Madrid vibes. This team's actually, it was started by Atletico Madrid. So that's obviously why there's that great connection with them. Adam, you put it also 6th with the same as James. So yeah, give us your thoughts on the effort from the Ottawa club this season.
Yeah, I actually quite like it, and I'll echo what you lot have already said. And there isn't a bad kit in the CPL for me. I think Macron continues to deliver. In terms of this kit, I do like the Macron logo just above the C. They switched that to be that navy color blue, so it fits a lot better than it did last year. Last year that was white, and the logo is actually centered on the stripes that are slightly different as well. Yeah, Josh is going to model it for us. So this was the original, the OG, where the sponsor was blue. So that now we got last year's on the screen now, and Josh has got 2020 in his box. So this is fantastic. So you'll notice that the striping is a little bit different. Everything shifted. This year's stripes are a bit bigger, but for me, what stands out, there's a nice added accent on the new sleeve this year that added a little bit of red as well. And it feels nicer. It feels better done. There's the chevrons, they really stand out. That's a nice detail because we knew with an Atletico Madrid owned team that they weren't going to deviate very far. They're always going to look like this with subtle changes. And their alternate was actually released on the 24th. And I know we're not doing alternates today, but I want to shout them out for such a departure from what you would expect with Atletico Ottawa. They had the CPL did everyone in 2020 had a black alternate with the different unique symbolism to it. It had Parliament Hill on it, so that was a cool way for them to have a different flavor. But this one is just solid. I enjoy the details, and the reason I had it 6th is I like it better than a couple others, but I wasn't expecting them to do much, and they didn't make it worse. They made it better. So all in all, it's a really nice shirt.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one. Josh, as always, you're matching up with Sean, both in 5th place for the pair of you. So, yeah, we'll finish on with you and your shirt from club that you're wearing this evening.
Yeah, no, I think it's like one of the shirts which was an improvement of last year's, like Adam was saying. And I think that a lot of the actual bits I like about it is the fact that it seems a bit more balanced. With regards to last season's, which I showed just a moment ago, the One Soccer, it was there, but it looked a little bit sort of, I would say like an afterthought as such, but with Come On that you've got here now, you've got the little sort of blue outline on the actual text itself, which cheekily matches in with the sleeve and the actual collar blue, and obviously the Macron. I like the fact that it's got a maple leaf on the back. That continues from last year, being the national sort of flower of the country. I think it's just a strong shirt. It's like I said, a lot of people will liken it to Atletico Madrid, which is obviously where it's originated from. But I think there's enough here to actually give it its own personality, and I think that shines through in the little nuances. So no, I think it's altogether a really nice shirt, and I do prefer the sort of the collar on this one. I do like a polo neck, but I think this one just is a lot more wearable. So yeah, I think we've done a good job this year.
Josh, if I can add in there too, the one you have hanging behind you, they adjusted the shade of blue. So that was that's their 2020, and it's a lighter blue and it doesn't really match. And I think it's a great point with the One Soccer logo kind of camouflage. It just makes the front really busy and you can't really tell what it is if you're A, unfamiliar, and B, sort of far away. So it's gotten markedly better every single year. And the striping on the sleeves is different this year as well, instead of just that full red color. And I think it just ties it together more.
That's awesome. No, I like it. It looks a lot lighter, this one, doesn't it, as opposed to the darker blue on there.
Yes.
What's the expectations of Ottawa this season, Adam? Are they expected to be are they touted to be favourites?
They and this is a larger theme for the league, but Ottawa came in at like the beginning of the pandemic. They were announced late to begin with, so they were always going to rush to get a team together. And the squad basically spent that 7 games that they had in their first year, and which was really just a tournament to mesh, and it didn't work. Next year was similar, where we had the pandemic altered season, so we started in a quarantine bubble sort of tournament. They grew into each other, but they finished bottom of the table, and it wasn't where it needed to be, and they've completely overhauled everything. New coach, I think they only maintained 6 or 7 core players and brought everybody else in, and I think they're learning too the loan players that they're receiving from their different teams throughout the world, a lot of them from the Madrid B or C teams, and then a couple from South America as well. They seem, just from what we've read about them, we've spoken, interacted with, that they make more sense for the direction they want to go. But it's going to be a very different team this year. Their supporters, I think, are going to have to relearn a lot of things, but I think they'll be competing for a top 4 spot, which in our league gets you into the playoff round. So it'll be a massive step forward, I think, and they're clearly going to look good doing it.
Excellent.
Cool. Adam, as well, just so you're in the know, I don't know if you've seen it in some of the episodes you watch. Sean, who isn't here, would normally give each shirt a night out rating on how much he would wear it out to the pub or to a bar or anything like that. So luckily, he's sent me through from his sick bed the rating from each. So this shirt would get a solid 7 out of 10, which is good for Sean.
That's strong. That is strong.
I think, yeah. Considering he doesn't really like the white, I think the red and white, I think he must think vertical stripes obviously suit him. So 7 out of 10 on a night out for Sean. So yeah, coming joint 7th in the list with 16 points, the Atletico Ottawa home shirt for this season. So we'll move on to the team. I'm quite disappointed by this because I think this is a beautiful shirt. Also getting 16 points is this the 2022 season home shirt.
This is polarizing double A.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in love with this shirt. I'm absolutely in love with this shirt. Third for me in my list. James, you felt the same. We'll start with Josh because you put it dead last in the list for reasons I'd like to hear, if possible, please, mate.
I think out of all of them, there are some which are better than last year's, and this one I think is just a downgrade on last year's. Only thing for me really is based on sort of like the fact that I liked last year so much. I'll show you that in a second. But things I do like about this, I do like the stories behind it. I do like a storytelling session, a football shirt.
There it is.
I believe the gold and the pink, or the gold and the green, I think there's slight accents on the collar, is to do with the coat of arms of Edmonton. And the colour remains like that sort of royal blue, which they've kept since their formation. I like this. I like the swoop logo as well. I think that's really cool. That's like a airline, I think.
It's kind of like our Ryanair, one of our
Ryanair. I think that's class, mate. I think that just fits right in. But I think I just preferred this from last year's.
It's so good, Josh. That is like one of my all-time favorites.
In it. It just reminds me of one of my favourite shirts, which dons the granddad collar as well, the 95-97 Newcastle United home. And also on this one, it had the X for the 10 over the badge, which was embossed, which I thought was such a nice detail. And I just don't know, just aesthetically as a shirt, I think I prefer this over the one that you've got in front of you there. Don't say I dislike that shirt. I just prefer last season. So, just a few of my points.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I agree with you, Josh. That swoop logo, I'm going to say one of the best in football. I think it's just aesthetically pleasing. It just looks good.
Even more so that it's like the Ryanair equivalent. That's just an extra mark for me.
Takes it up extra, yeah, definitely. The accents, like the pink, and I didn't actually see the gold until you mentioned it, but that even works even more. So, come third for me. Adam, we'll go to you next then. Similar to Josh, you put this 8th. Interested to see why.
Well, I just don't get the necessity for the pink and the gold. So Josh rightly points out it has to do with the provincial coat of arms, and then there's the hints of green they say are for the forest, gold for the wheat field, and wild rose pink, which is Edmonton's official flower. So I do like too the subtle jet card detailing, which they allude to is a nod to the clear blue skies of Alberta, which is true, and it is a nice detail. It's just, for me, one, I was always going to go in, and I try not to do this, but I had a bit of a sour taste because last year's, the 2021, is probably my favorite, like, kitschy but not cartoony we've ever seen, where they did the play on the Canadian tuxedo, the denim jacket, the white collar popped, and it matched with the swoop so much, and the buttons with that were the navy, really tied in their identity. This is top marks for me always. This is a 10 out of 10. Wear it out, wear it every day kind of thing. And it was so good. And I found that this year, and Josh modeled the 2020, they almost tried to go as a hybrid in between. And then as Josh pointed out, that one, I think they just did a much better job. The X for their anniversary, and it's very clean, it's very classic. For me, it was just, there were so many other good ones in the CPL that this one wasn't better than any of the other 7 for me. And I'd like to see them keep those pink and gold details, the greens as well. If they're going to do it, I think it should be more of a statement. And then that's why they have alternates. And they have 2 alternates this year. They have a white one, which if you haven't seen, I recommend. It's like this glacial kind of feel with white, grays, and blues. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And then they had a throwback to their old pro team, which were called the Edmonton Drillers, which is like an orange and then the navy blue as well. So I just feel like if you want to experiment with it, take it to an alternate. You had to, and you chose not to do it. So maybe that's why they wanted to get it in on the primary shirt, the home shirt. And for me, it's busy, even though it's very basic. So it's their worst entry for a primary blue shirt that I've seen from them in the 4 years.
Interesting. We'll finish off with you, James. Just before that, Sean put this 7th. I think he just said it's a little bit too plain. I think he agrees with what Adam's saying there, kind of similar points. Wasn't that much of a fan of the sponsor. Said it looks like a poor retro bit of artwork, which I'm not sure what he means by that. But then give it a nice out rating of 4.
Get him on now.
You know what?
Ill.
You know what Sean's like, Josh. You know what he's like. When we go right, he goes left. You know how we. But you give it a night out rating of 4, which is Sean. So yeah, James, similar to me. I think you put it 3rd as well. So yeah, tell us why it's a great shirt.
Yeah, so I guess coming into this sort of entry level, this is like my first sort of look at the CPL and their kits. I guess ignorance is bliss. Sort of looking at it, I quite enjoy it. I quite like the collar and the sleeves on there. I think everyone agrees it's a great sponsor. Works. It's not too sort of overbearing on the shirt. It works for me. It works. I get vibes of sort of like a, I don't know why, but like a French team, perhaps with the club crest, and I like it. It's got a nice European feel to it, and I'm a fan of the shirt. Literally, as you know, I've marked it third. So two shirts above it that I thought were slightly better, but no, it scored high for me.
Yeah, Adam, obviously myself and James. Josh, I think you've got all the kits. So I don't know if you support one specific club, but I think me and James and maybe Sean are looking for a team to look out for this season and to root for. And I think you did pick Edmonton, didn't you, James?
Yeah. I think so. I think like anything, you look out for the fixture, and I think I will be looking out for theirs. I mean, I don't know if Adam, you could fill us in. I mean, I'm a glory hunting by picking these paps. I don't
know. James, you are doing the exact opposite, mate. Unfortunately for your Eddies, it has been an off season from hell for them. They're just like New Year's Eve. It was announced that ownership, who I should backpedal a little bit to give you some background on them. They're an amazing story because FC Edmonton was a team in the North American Soccer League when that existed, and they carried through until that league folded, and then they basically rechartered themselves into the Canadian Premier League. So they have a soccer sporting history, and it's an incredible sporting city. Canada played Mexico and Costa Rica there in the winter. I'm not sure if the Azteca made it over the pond at all, but it was a homecoming for Alphonso Davies. He's a proud Edmontonian, so there's a lot of heritage in the city, and it's just a fantastic town as well. So yeah, it was disappointing when the Faths, who were the ownership group there, they ran out of funding for the team, and they had to basically, I'm sure there's a technical word that I'm on one hand trying to explain it. It's kind of like administration, but not entirely. The league itself took over, and how it's working this year is a lot of the owners from the other 6 owners, because one of the owners owns 2 teams, but that's details you probably don't need. They're paying to support the club until they can find new ownership. So what they're doing a lot of this year is intra-league loans. So they've had to modify the loan rules in the league to allow this to happen for the year. It's going to be a transition year. They're only keeping 2 players from last year, and everyone else is basically a trialist or a college university player getting a shot to be a professional footballer. So if you're looking for that feel-good story, these guys are definitely your team. It's going to be a tough year. Wooden spoon seems inevitable, but their coach is amazing. He came in 2 years ago, basically laid this fantastic foundation, and then the foundation fell out from underneath him. And he said, I thought about leaving for 5 seconds, but then I said, I love this team. I love this city too much to abandon the project. And he re-upped, and he's going to go through some pain this year. And he's calling the squad FC Opportunity this year. No expectations. Nice. All they can do is impress.
Nice.
So I think you've just announced you're going to support the Canadian Norwich, I believe.
There we go.
I'll take it.
So there we go. Coming joint 7th as well. 16 points, the SC Edmonton home shirt. We'll move on. Going to 6 in our list. Is this scoring 18 points, 2 points higher? It is the York United home shirt, a club based in Toronto. Let's get straight into it. I'll give you Sean's score. He put it 4th. Here, he just said, as we'll probably all talk about, the city skyline across the shirt is what he likes. Gave it, again, because it's a white shirt, I'm really surprised at this score. You give it a 7 out of 10 on his night out rating.
No really consistency, that lad. None. None. Makes no sense.
All over the place. He's all over the place. He doesn't know what he's talking about. 6 for me in my list. I love it. It gives me gives me sort of Tranmere Rovers vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Similar colour scheme, but a lovely shirt. Again, that skyline is brilliant. I've got family who live in Toronto, born in Toronto, so
one of us.
Yeah, so possibly one of the teams I was looking to support, but I've chosen another one. Sorry, Adam. But yeah, we'll go to. Let's start with you then, Adam, shall we? It's 5th in your list. Tell us why or what you like about the York United home shirt.
Wow. Okay. This is officially territory for me. My top 5, like I could literally put them in any other order. I wouldn't care, but I couldn't just tie everybody for first. I am obsessed with this one as well. The skyline where it's forests that sort of slowly morph into the city. It took me a little while to get used to, but I appreciate how they're trying to tie in their community with Toronto. So your backstory, if you're interested, and for the viewers as well on York United, when they were launched in 2019 and 2020 as well, they were known as York 9. And that was to represent the 9 communities that make up York Region, which is like it's kind of like a massive county just north of the city of Toronto. So they were always York 9. The 9 Stripes is their nickname. They still have the 9 Stripes in the badge. And in 2019, they smashed it. They looked like these unbelievable alien neon green and black. The color scheme was so striking and it was unmissable. And then 2020 things went downhill with the infamous map kit. You should check that out if you're in for a horror story. And York United will even admit it to it. Basically, what they were trying to do is they were trying to put the line of a map that would follow the highway that connects all the cities. But it seems like, and I can neither confirm nor deny, that they didn't have enough time to flush out the idea. So it's just city names and this weird green squiggly line. So when they rebranded in 2021 to become York United, they could not go downhill. They could only come up, and they did a great job last year. The home kit, it was very unique, and you'll notice a theme with them and the alternate, which will be announced today at some point. So we're just taping this a little early Canadian time, which is miles better than this, and that's saying something because this is awesome. But it's really nice. It's got the hoops. It's got their 3 colors in a way that's not distracting, in a way that's not too busy. It kind of gives me the retro and fun look that I would absolutely agree with Sean's night out score on this one. I think it's very representative of the club that they're trying to be and grow into. And there's just a lot of really nice details about it that I like. They have a new shirt sponsor this year, Green Park Group, who is within ownership of the league. They moved on from Macron, who sponsored them for 3 years. So that's different for the supporters as well. And I just think this is a home run. Yeah. And that's last year. So you got the 2 ribbons with the sort of very subtle detailing in the middle. The gold collar and trim on the sleeves was really nice. And then the York region motto is in there as well. So, and from one, a community is its translation. So it was different. It wasn't for everyone. It was nice. It was a step into their own unique thing as York United. And this year, I think it's a good improvement. It's really fun.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, 7 in your list. Give us your thoughts, please, mate.
Yeah, I just think it's a great idea. You don't often see skylines in football shirts. Atlanta did it this year, but they got the wrong city, which is amazing. I think they got Turin. So fantastic. Fantastic observations by the commercial team there. And I do like it a lot. I must admit, I just think it didn't need the gold borders. I think if those, I appreciate the gold's part of like the actual DNA of the shirt makeup, but someone did a mock-up of it actually where they removed it and it just looked a little bit better. It looked a little bit more uniform. It looked like there was no like it just begun out of the white as opposed to that bit at the bottom being sort of like the starting point of it. So no, I don't think it's a bad shirt at all. I think last year's was a lot busier. Yeah, interesting about it being called York 9 and then being called York United, the rebrand. I've got one of the shirts here, which
that's the 2020.
Yeah. I must be getting mixed up with a lot of the shirts that were from last year and the year before. So yeah, this one 2020. It's good. I like the York 9 sort of as an idea, but I think it's a lot stronger, a lot more traditional, I guess, with the New York United. But no, I appreciate what's sort of like in front of us here. I'd be interesting to know what shorts they're going with. Are they going with white shorts? Are they going with blue or green?
I will. I imagine they'll go white, and we could probably fill a full 30-minute discussion on my thoughts about the shorts and socks in the league as well. But I'll just pull up the league website right now, and in the mock-up they have them with white shorts and white socks with sort of a blue ring to top the socks. So it's a good look. I do like that they didn't go too crazy with colors in this particular one, but yeah, it should be white.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, I like it, but like I said, there's a few more which are better, I think.
Finishing with you, James. You had it 5th in your list. So yeah, round us off with your thoughts on this
James and I are in sync today. I love this.
You know what? It's really nice, and obviously hearing the stories behind it, and the skyline there is a great touch. Again, there's just other kits that I preferred out of this list. Macron, there's no shame in this kit at all. I think they've done really well with this, and certainly an improvement, I think, on previous kits. Looking at sort of previous ones that Josh has shown there, and so on. So this is nice. This is one of those. Again, I always think when I look at them, would I add it to my collection? And for sure, that is one that I would, I'd be looking to think, yeah, I would like that in my collection. It's a nice kit, but it's certainly an improvement on previous seasons.
Yep. So there we go. Number 6 in our list with 18 points. It's the York United 2022 home shirt. And yeah, I think we're all in agreement. It's a very nice, decent effort from the club. So we'll move on to number 5 in the list, 2 points higher with 20 points overall. And it is the home shirt from Halifax Wanderers. Again, obviously another Macron effort, as it is throughout the league this season. 4th in my list. I think it's beautiful, the two-tone blue. The Volkswagen is just great. Big fan of it, like the crest as well. Sean had it 3rd. He likes it a little bit more than me. But weirdly only give it a 6 out of 10 on a night out rating. It'd be interesting to see
this guy's
why
mind
he's done that.
Just,
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. So yeah, that's Sean. Moving on, and we're going to start with you, James, because this was the shirt that come last for you. Tell us why.
Well, again, we're looking at. If I'm looking at this kit, I don't know if you want to zoom in a little bit on it, Aaron, but the badge for me, not a fan of the badge. The two-tone blue, not a huge fan of. It's
everything that I like.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Everything that you like, I disagree with. But no, it just for me, it missed the mark a little bit, and that's why I rank the other kits higher than it. Again, it's not a terrible kit. We've certainly seen worse out there in the world, but for me, this one is the weakest out of the set, just in my opinion. Just not a fan of that badge at all.
Yeah, no problem. 1 place higher for you, Adam, in 7th. Tell us a bit about Halifax Wanderers and your thoughts on the kit in general, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this, how I get sort of my opinions on the shirt, but I also get to educate people on the history and where clubs are. I think that's really, really cool. Halifax is typically, and I mean this with no disrespect to the other 7 clubs, if you are sort of coming in from a distance and want a club to support, it's typically the Halifax Wanderers. They have this really cool but basic like modular stadium that was originally just in a city park. And it is always the best atmosphere. They call them kitchen parties when you go, and you just have the absolute best time. They have arguably the greatest support, I would say, throughout the community, where it really resonates with the most amount of people. And it's an event every single time. And they're a ton of fun. Their coach, Stephen Hart, he coached the Canadian men's national team a few generations before John Herdman, and just a fantastic ambassador, and they play hard. And they were the finalists 2 years ago. They had a really poor year relative to the quality on their team last year, so they'll be looking to bounce back. They had the Golden Boot winner in 2020. I think he only scored 2 goals all season. One was a pen, and then they had another Golden Boot player from Brazil just step up and deliver. So they were a very one-man offense. But I'm going to have to disagree with James for like the first time on the entire show. This is my favorite crest. It is gorgeous.
Oh, really?
It's got the citadel, so it's fabric of the city. It's really well done. It is a bit busy, but it's it's one where you see it, you sort of learn about the city, the community, it stands out, and then the landmark with the bridge there. In terms of this year's kit, I do like how they've swapped the blue back so that the navy is sort of the dominant color. They've got the wave pattern in there as well. I still think I prefer their original, the 2019, which had some similarities to this year's, just with more of the polo collar, and it was a little bit more subtle. They used that citadel outline as like the sublimated pattern in behind as opposed to the waves, but you know what to expect with them. They don't overcomplicate it. It's really nice. It's good. It's just compared to the others, there wasn't anything about it that grabbed my attention other than the fact that I prefer the colors being flipped this year, and it's very subtle and clean. And I can't say anything. I know I mentioned to you guys just before we started going to air that I know what all the alternates look like. So if there's CPL fans watching this, April 2nd, you're going to get your alternate. It's going to be very different, and it's going to be very, very good. It is better than this one, in my personal opinion, but solid effort from the crew. And I mean, the Halifax Wanderers are like incapable of doing anything wrong in CPL fans' eyes, and this fits the bill for them.
Amazing. So yeah, there we go. I have to say, I love the jersey. I think that it scored high on its own merits. Halifax, probably located in one of the most favourite places to say, Nova Scotia. I just think it's so satisfying. Such a satisfying thing to say. That when I obviously doing research to find out where the clubs are from, I was like, oh, right, okay. Very nice. But yeah, Halifax Wanderers FC home shirt for the upcoming season. 5th in our list with a score of 20. We'll move on. And
did we get Josh's thoughts, Double A? Did I miss it?
Oh, did Josh not have a go? Oh, sorry,
no.
Josh. Oh, no,
no, it's all right, mate. Don't worry. I don't want to interfere.
We don't need to hear it.
I don't want to interfere. If you want to move on, that is your opinion. You know, if you don't value the things that I say that come out of my mouth, but it's fine.
You know.
We'll put it down to baby brain. We'll put it down to baby brain.
You know that's not true.
Well, first of all, I almost got the RSPCA on my doorstep because I took a photograph of it next to a cow. It's not a real cow, it's a sculpture, but that set the internet alight. Thought it was kind of a good idea at the time, but realized later on that actually but no, I like it. I think that the badge is like a beautiful piece of graphic design. I do like to flirt a bit with graphic design now and again, and I think that is just beautiful. Yeah, it's probably not a conventional sort of badge, I get it, but I think I like to see new, and I like to see sort of futuristic and modern, and that's all of those things. I also noticed as well when I got hold of a shirt, the actual sort of zigzags, that part of the shirt has got like a felt feel about it. It's got like a different feel, and I didn't spot that when I saw the promotional photographs, but when I got it in my hands, I was like, damn, this is like such a nice quality of shirt. So yeah, no, I think it's a really nice use of color. I think it all goes quite well, and yeah, it just blends, and I think, where did I put it? Did I put it third?
Third, you put it, yeah.
Yeah, probably put it higher actually. Seeing it right now, but hey, you can't turn back the hands of time.
No.
So poetic.
I know. I'm gonna say someone sang that song, but
yeah. Let's move on.
I'm gonna move on very, very quickly. So there we go. The thoughts of the forgotten man, Josh, there putting that shirt in third. Coming fifth overall. 20 points. We will swiftly move on to our fourth place team with 21 points overall. And it's the effort from Calvary FC, their home shirt for the upcoming season. For me, this was my least favourite shirt, put in 8th. It's a very nice shirt. There's just some shirts I liked a lot more. And it's like similar to everyone saying, it's just a case of having to put it somewhere in the list, unfortunately. And Sean put this 6th in his list, and I will tell you why he did. He said he likes the sash, not a bad kit, but prefer the other kits above it, pretty much saying they're similar to everyone else. He's got a night out rating of 6 out of 10. We will go to James next on this one. You had it 7th in your list, my friend. Tell us why, please.
I see. I'm a real stickler for little minute details on there. I'm not, and again, we can all agree that these kits are quite. It's nip and tuck. It's quite close between them. So I had to nitpick on a few things. And for me, the collar, just with the sort of the extension on the white, it's just marked it down a little bit for me. Like Sean says, I like the sash. I quite like the badge here as well. I think the logo there for the club is great. Very sort of, I much prefer that one to the Halifax one. Let's just say that. But yeah, just again, there's other kits there that I preferred, and very, very sort of reminiscent of early noughties Middlesbrough for me. This kit, if we're referencing UK kits, but yeah, for me, there's just better kits in there, I'm afraid.
No, that's you're entitled to that opinion, James. Don't have to apologise. No, mate, it's fine. Josh, you had it second in your list overall. I believe this is the one. Did I see a picture of this one you took not too long ago as well?
Oh yeah,
is it with a cat or with a dog?
Man, stop going on about my cat. You're obsessed with my cat. I don't think you are, actually. To be fair, no. Yeah, no, there may have been a cat involved. I don't know, but I did wear it to work on Friday. And I'm telling you what, I was walking down the sidewalk like John Travolta on Saturday Night Fever. It's beautiful.
Does it go well with flares?
I thought to myself that all the things that you said were right with that shirt. It looked a little bit busy, a little bit sort of am I going to like that collar? But it's really nice. And I like the idea that the green and the white, I think, is to do with the regimental colours, which is to do with cavalry. And I believe is that Calgary, I think?
It is.
Yeah. And then they've also got in the sash, they've got like a geometric. Am I right in saying that's to do with some of the modern sort of buildings in Calgary, using some of the sort of like I don't know, some of the metallic work or something like that that they're using in the sash. Yeah, I think that's really nice. It looks a bit more understated in the shirt when you've got it, as opposed to it is on the actual graphic you've got there. But no, surprisingly, it's one that's just grown on me, and I think now I've worn it and I've had it in my hand, sort of thing. And I love the WestJet logo too. I think that's beautiful. I think that just ties everything in, because a sponsor can sometimes make or break a shirt, and that one, if anything, has made it.
I'm surprised this wasn't number one, Josh. The way you've described that.
I get a bit excited, mate, don't I?
That's the point. That's why you're here, because you talk great on football shirts. You are the kitsman. So that's why you're obviously here. Someone did put it number one in their list, and we've come to him last. It's Adam. Tell us, if you can describe it in any other way other than what Josh has. Tell us your thoughts and maybe a little bit of background on the club as well, please, Adam.
Yeah, so Cavalry, as Josh explains, is Calgary's team. It is, I think it was done intentionally, but sometimes people just call it Calgary because it sounds the same. You get a lot of Calvary for some reason. But yes, Cavalry, like the regiment. Club branding is fantastic. Their coach is just one of my absolute favorite people in the world. His name is Tommy Wheeldon Jr. He's from Liverpool. His dad played for the England U18s and Everton as well, so people may be with the Wheeldons. And it's an all-around top-notch organization. They have typically been the side where, as it's set up in the CPL and it's been slightly tweaked every single year, they won the regular season in the first year. They did it again in 2020, and they just haven't been able to find the playoff success. And the way the league's constructed, there really isn't any trophies or recognition for the side that wins the season, wins the league, which I think they're going to experiment and maybe change a bit as the league continues to expand. But they're always a great team. They're gritty, they're fun, they're tough, and they've got some really skilled players in that group. Joe Mason plays for Cavalry now as well, and he's become a fan favorite, and he's going to look really good in this kit. In terms of what I like about it, I'm interested to see it in person. Like Josh said, how the pattern is a little bit more understated. I do like that the sash is back. In their first year in 2019, it was just a thick, full white sash, and it was a really, really nice shirt. And then they sort of deviated. 2020's was a bunch of vertical lines. So it was the exact opposite of this kit where it was so busy that it wasn't for everybody. But this year, I think they have the perfect balance. Macron is clearly trying this new collar style. There's a couple alternates where that features as well. You'll notice that a lot of the kits, because it's Macron, they'll share certain pieces as Macron tries to basically use this as a testing ground in some ways. But I think it just works really well. The sash is simple, but it matches the thin stroke of the collar, and it looks really, really good. And I will say, as much as I love how the regiment and the foot soldiers are a part of the Calgary identity with their club, last year they had an actual horse on the front of the shirt, which didn't make a ton of sense to me. So I will take the very subtle shapes in behind. And Josh, you made a good point. It's supposed to represent the architecture, but also the Rocky Mountains, which you'll never not see them when you're in Calgary. So it's the artificial and the man-made geometry that they're trying to represent in that sash. And it's really nice. It's another one where the alternate's going to come out today, and the alternate absolutely smashes it. I'm excited to see what you guys think of that when it's announced. And something that just came to my mind as we were going through it, it's funny, especially funny if you're a Cavalry supporter, not an FC Edmonton supporter. But WestJet is like the parent company, the proper airline, and then Swoop, as we discussed, is sort of their Ryanair, which I'm sure Calgarians love that Edmonton is sponsored by the second-rate airline, and that's a fun rivalry with the two Albertan sides. But that just came to mind as well. But this is my favorite. I would wear it anywhere. It's versatile. I think it's going to look really good. I'm not sure I love that it's going to be white shorts and white socks like they've mocked up. I'd love to see them play with that a little bit, but all in great. It's my favorite, but the margins are slim. I do feel a little hypocritical by sort of taking points off the Halifax Wanderers for being simple and basic, but I don't know. I think the red and white works better.
Did we ever get any chants in the stands saying, our airline's much better than yours? Our airline's much better than yours.
If this gets picked up by the right person, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'll try not to laugh when I hear it doing commentary.
Fantastic news.
You're going home on a budget airline. You're going home on a budget.
Yes.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. I have to say, obviously, this is last season's shirt. For me, obviously, one with a horse, which you mentioned, Adam. I don't know if you've ever seen rugby union, but that could be worn by Wales with the green.
I am A, Welsh, and B, rugby is tied for my favorite sport. So yes, I am very familiar.
There you go. So yeah, there we go. In fourth place, I'll say it correct this time, the Cavalry FC home shirt for the upcoming season with 21 points. Adam's favourite, mine not so, but not because it's a bad shirt. It's a great shirt. We will go on to number 3 in our list, getting a total of 26 points. So they jumped up a little bit here, these shirts. It is the home shirt for next season from Forge FC. Oof. And so number 2 for me, I did say I was going to pick a team. I have chosen this team to support in the new season. I'm not glory hunting. I have done a bit of
He heard about Edmonton's financial troubles and was like, hang on a second here. Is this the horse I want to hitch my wagon to?
So they were the champions, was it not last season, the season before, and they lost in the playoff final last season to Pacific FC, I believe.
That is correct. They were the first two champions. They won in 19 and 20.
There we go. So yeah, I'm not glory hunting the hour. It's a great shirt. I think Adam is he still there? Yeah.
Yeah, we're all here. We're all here.
Or is it me?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it's me. Is it? I see.
Yeah. It just knocked you out with that fact.
I see. Oh, that's it. But yeah, I mean, look at that shirt. That's absolutely good. I like the logo, the crest. I don't know if you know, there's 2 Tim Hortons in Manchester. I love going to Tim Hortons. That's another reason. I like the fact that they
keep
also
sucking up double A. It's working.
I'm just trying to show that I'm not a glory hunter. That's all it is. So yeah, it was second in my list. Sean had it dead last in his list, giving it just a 2 out of 10 for night out rating. Obviously not a fan of orange. We will go to, let's start with Josh on this one. 4th in your list, pal. Tell us what you're thinking of this effort.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really strong shirt. I just prefer other ones in this list. I know I've said that about a few of them, but it's true. I think that I like the idea that I think Hamilton or Forge Hamilton isn't that very industrial. And I think that the actual graphic you see in there is the sparks, I think, of the hammer when they're doing their hammering. I like that idea of that graphic being shown in there. I think that's meant to signify flames. Just a really cool shirt, isn't it? I mean, I don't really have many orange shirts in my collection. I've got that and a Holland shirt, and that one sticks out. But no, I like Tim Hortons logo. I think that's really good. It's a really, really, really strange looking crest there. It looks really, really strange. But is that the H for Hamilton then?
It is, yeah. There's an H and an F both in it. You are not alone in your questioning of the crest, which I know is sacrilege because I love all my clubs equally, as I say all the time as the league commentator. But yes, of all the crests, this one I think if I could redo, I would probably do this one.
Yeah, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it? But again, I think I prefer some of their earlier versions of this shirt, which is one reason why I put it where I have. And I think like the Barca-esque sort of cuff pattern. That's quite nice.
Yeah, big fan of that myself. We'll go to you next then, Adam. You had this third in your list. Let us know a bit about the club if you don't mind, and then also this shirt in general for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Forge has made themselves sort of into the New York Yankees or Manchester United or the Barca, the big club that people will latch on to just because of the success they had. They won the inaugural championship. They beat Cavalry in the two-legged final in 2019. They repeated at the Island Games in 2020, made the final again this year, and were defeated at home for the first time in the final by Pacific. And it was the first time Pacific had beat them in any competition in what was the end of the third season. So massive result there. Their coach is a tactician who's studied at Ajax and has a lot of experience and is just he's become sort of the Canadian godfather of football with his big beard and his cardigan sweater. They went to Champions League for the first time. They qualified through CONCACAF League, which is kind of like our Europa League in CONCACAF, and they played Cruz Azul, which is a tough draw for your debut into the tournament to play one of the Giants from Mexico City. But they play fun. They don't change their identity. They don't change the way they like to play football, regardless of who they're playing, whether it's the bottom of the table in the CPL or whether it is Cruz Azul. And there's a lot of players there that can endear you. A few Canadian former internationals that reside there now, including the captain Kyle Becker. And they're a perennial powerhouse until they're dethroned, which no one has shown signs of doing on a consistent basis. And I'm sure they'll be competitive again this year. In terms of the kit, it's definitely busy, but I love it. I don't know what it is about the sparks pattern that has to do with the steel imagery they're trying to convey, which is the industry that Hamilton was sort of based on. They're just outside of the city of Toronto by about an hour further to the west. There's a big harbor as well, which helps with shipping a lot of the goods they make. And it's like their way of trying to be forward thinking and futuristic because there's a lot of work within the city to sort of change the narrative just from blue collar steel to this progressive modern city as well. And we have this darker shade of red, almost like that burgundy color that we've never seen from them before. The Tim Hortons logo has got their steel gray instead of white, which we saw in 2019 and 2021. It just has this sort of really cool, dark and unique style to it, and I really enjoy it. I think I like their alternate more, which is going to be announced tomorrow, but it will follow the theme where it is not simple, it's not basic, it's not plain. It's a statement for a statement club, and that's why they were third on my list.
Brilliant. And James, we'll finish off with you. You were the same as me, second in your list. Tell us why.
I did something with this week that I've never done before, basically. Normally I get the list and then I'll just go through them. I'll have a look and I'll be like, yeah, and I'll just rank them and then sort of go away. And if you watch previous episodes, you'll see us discussing it. And sometimes we're like, yeah, why did I place that so low? Or perhaps I placed it too high. With this one, I think you initially sent over like a mocked up action shot, Aaron, of this kit. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's pretty good. I think I put it fourth. And then I saw it as it is here with much more detail, and I really like it. I think for me personally, I think it's more in keeping with sort of how I imagine sort of MLS and North American kits. Not necessarily just a Tim Hortons logo, just the overall vibe with it and the pattern. I really like it. I think it's a great kit. I think Adam said it best there. It is a real statement, this kit, and it's, yeah, like I say, there's only one that beat it for me in that list. But yeah, absolutely, it's a really, really nice kit. Great colour, and it complements it with the Tim Hortons there in the different colour as well. So yeah, big fan of this one.
Double A, I have to jump in quick before we move on because I know I'm going to hear about it. Two things. One, there's a new thing the league's doing with Forge this year, and any club moving forward, pardon me, microphone, that isn't the reigning champion, they're getting what's called the legacy patch on the left sleeve. I'm not sure if you have a photo of it, but if you're interested, it's basically the league logo in gold with a darker shade of gold showing how many championships you've won. So as the only champions that aren't the current champions, they'll be the only one to have it, and then that number will just continue to grow every single year. The Pacific, which we'll see, does have the star over top of the crest now, which is new for this year as well. But I think with the smaller league, they didn't want teams like Forge, who could win a bunch of championships, to have all of these stars and only be 6 or 7 years old. So they've got the legacy patch on the sleeve. And well, maybe I can get a picture of that over to you guys to share it if you're interested. I also said Bobby Smirniotis came up through Ajax. I don't want to have droves of angry Hamiltonians. There's Olympiacos. I have Ajax on the brain for some reason. So I just wanted to correct that mistake.
Red and white stripes can be confused. Don't worry about it. So there we go. Number 3 in our list, Forge SC, the team that are the greatest, which is the reason why I now support them, obviously. With 26 points. We'll move on to number 2 in the list. And this, beating it by a point with 27, is this effort from the current champions of the CPL. It is the Pacific home shirts. There we go, looking stunning shirt. I say that and I put it 5th, but it's just because other shirts I preferred. Sean put it 2nd in his list. Big fan, and he said he preferred the full kit rather than just the shirt. Night out rating of 8 out of 10. He's give it on that one. So scoring highest so far, I think. So from Sean, we will go. Let's see. We'll go to James because he put this first in your list. Did you, Sean? James, sorry.
Yeah,
so
this is number 1 for me. I really like it. I like that. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's I like the colour. I just really like the colour of it. I'm guessing it's sort of similar to what you're wearing tonight, Aaron, in terms of that purple. I like the white and the blue as well on the collar and on the sleeve. Yeah, I'm a fan of this. I'm sort of the darker waves in that I can't quite make out just with the image, but I'm obviously guessing that's intentional. But no, yeah, I really like the colour of this, and that's what swung it for me. Quite a modern sort of looking badge as well, which I quite like on this kit as well. So yeah, for me, this was top of the tree.
Yeah, I agree. The logo is great. The accent of teal as well, or light green. Really, really, really nice. Josh, shall we go to you next? 6 in your list. Tell us what you think on this Pacific effort.
Talking about trees, James, that is actually, I think, a fir of the Douglas tree, or Douglas fir tree. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. I discovered that, I think, when I was looking at it this week with the special that I was running. And yeah, they're like the leaves, which I think are a really nice sort of subtle design. It could have just been a normal plain purple, but I think that adds a bit of texture to it. Really unusual color. I think that may have been the thing that swung it for me. It's very big. I don't think it's almost like
it's not a turtleneck big though, is it? I mean, how big is it?
I don't know. I just it's not doing anything for me, and it's detracting, I think, from what could have been a really nice shirt. I like the Volkswagen logo on it. Is it a bit too big? Probably. I think we discussed it, didn't we, a little bit back, where some of us logos and sponsors, sometimes that's where your eyes go to immediately. And I think, like you said, Aaron, like the badge is beautiful. I remember the league actually brought out these little 60-second or 30-second segments of how the badge was designed. And I've got to show you those later because it's lovely, and that does give you a nice little story as to what that is about. But yeah, no, again, I just like the fact that Macron are finding ways to sort of like get the culture and the heritage and sort of like the traditions from the actual towns and cities they're from, and adding it into the shirts, and they've done it again here. And yeah, no, it's just that collar, mate.
I don't know if you remember, but it reminds you of the Liverpool collar from last week that we discussed and how big it was.
Yeah.
The sort of 95, 96 collar. Looks a bit like that.
No, that was
what a great
more.
shirt. Yeah, it was. It was more cricket, but it's similar vibes. Adam, we'll finish off with you then. Fourth in your list. Tell us a bit about your feelings on the shirt and also how you feel Pacific FC are going to defend their championship this season.
All right. Well, I will say that I am always harder on Pacific than any other club because their color scheme is if they reached into my heart and soul and grabbed my two favorite colors in the world, and these kits were made for me. So I'm always really strict on how I rate them because the purple and the teal, they call it lagoon blue. It's teal to me. They're my two favorite colors in the world. And so it's hard for them to go wrong for me. Last year's was a bit better, in my opinion, than this, and it was simply for the simplicity. I'm with Josh where the collar ruins it for me. Where here they do the very uniform purple. I didn't love the striping across the chest and the midsection last year, but I did love how that one was simple. With that shade of purple, it's hard for me to go wrong. And then this year, they experiment with a couple of different things. They get the Douglas fir sublimated in there, which is really cool. It's very unique. It gives me like Fiorentina vibes from like the 90s before I was even alive, which is my favorite shirt of all time, when the Gelati's San Montano one. But yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind here was the Fiorentina with the pattern. I do love to see the North Star above the crest now, and it is my favorite crest in the league as well. It's got really cool symbolism. I'll go through it quickly with you guys if you want to zoom in as much as you can there, AA. But it features the Douglas fir again, which is, of course, native to Vancouver Island and the area around Victoria or Langford, where the club is based, just sort of a suburb of the city. The ancient tree is a symbol of strength and survival, with their massive trunks and towering heights dating back hundreds of years. So the shape of the Douglas fir, which is the teal bit that sort of engulfs the majority of it, is split into two segments, which is a really subtle detail that a lot of people miss unless you're familiar. The right side of it is very similar, actually, to the outline of Vancouver Island, which is where the club is based. And they're very much the island's team. They don't call them Vancouver. They are Victoria on Vancouver Island. Your Canadian geography, I hope everyone's able to keep up with me. And then the bottom of the crest of Boyle, you got the trident, which is traditionally used for spearfishing, and of course had the Poseidon implications and control of the ocean, with the tree bordered by a single chevron representing the ocean wave, and Victoria, Victory, and Vancouver Island all together. So that is the crest. I absolutely adore it. I just found if they wanted to go bold with the sublimated, I'd love to see them just stick to one color on the collar and the trim on the sleeves as well. Either go full white and it completely stands out, or if you want to be bold with your teal, go full bold as well. And then there's a little slight piping along the bottom of the sleeve where it's like they tried to go teal, white, purple, and then more white, and it's not balanced, and that part of the sleeve is just a little bit busy for me. But again, I'm tough on them because it's my favorite color scheme and I know how good it can be. And look, they're the champs. They're going to look good on how they play and what they're wearing. This is going to be my biggest tease. I don't have an official date for everyone, but they're alternate. I have seen it. It is unlike anything else I have ever seen in my life. It ties into Victoria, Vancouver Island very, very well. And I think it's one that any kit collector is going to need to have in their closet. So if you're not super impressed with this one, wait for the alternate that will come out and it'll be miles better. It's a departure from everything you know about Pacific. but it's sensational. In terms of if I think they're going to defend their title this year, AA, I really don't know, and that's only because the parity in the league this year is closer than it's ever been before. Forge, of course, is going to want it back. Pacific could be a little bit preoccupied down the stretch with CONCACAF League as well for the first time with their international competition, but they have a good piece of their core sticking. They lost 2 big defenders to Toronto FC in Major League Soccer this year, and they've seemingly replaced them well. There's some interleague transfers as well, but look, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't make it into the top 4 in the playoffs, and then at that point, it's anyone's race.
Exciting times then. So, yeah, there we go. Number 2 in the list. 27 points overall, the Pacific FC home shirt. The defending champions, like Adam, isn't too sure they can defend their crown, but we'll soon see when the season kicks off very, very soon. So that leaves 1 shirt left for us. Number 1, and it big jump up, 9 points it beat Pacific by, so 36 overall, only missing out on the top spot by 4 points, which is really good going. And it is the only team left. Valor FC and their home shirt.
Good. It's so good.
Got number 1 by 3 people. Myself, Sean, and Josh all put it number 1. We'll give you Sean's rating quickly. He loves the crest and the sponsor is well centralized and ties in with the main color of the kit. Give it a 10 out of 10 on a night out rating. So
absolutely.
If you isn't that a first?
I've probably
I think that might be the first he's ever given a 10. Yeah, I think that's the first he's ever given a 10. And he's not wrong, I have to say. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's beautiful. The sponsor just looks amazing. Fits in with the trim of the kit. Stands out, but in a good way. The crest is amazing as well. And just that sash of sort of burgundy and the gold macron is, it's amazing. So I'll shut up and let everyone else tell you how amazing it is. Josh, go on then. You put it number 1. Just tell us why is the best kit for next season in the CPL.
Kind of makes you a bit emotional. If a football shirt can do that, I mean, I think it can. That is beautiful. That is fantastic. I mean, I challenge you to come back with 5 teams that play in a diagonal half and half like that. If any. I think that when I mentioned to you about sponsors as well, about your eyes going straight to them, that does. But that actual one soccer and the gold circle that's there, it kind of looks like it's part of the design. And I think the fact that has been done in gold, along with the sort of stripe on the collar, and also the Macron hero logo, and also the cuffs, it's just unified. It's so good. I mean, it's hard to sometimes put in words how much you like something. You just have to look at it. Like I've seen there's a few comments that are coming in now saying how good it looks. I mean, I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. It's the collar as well. I'm a big fan of that. I think that works really well. I mean, a few people might say, well, it looks just as big as the Pacific one. Well, no, I think it looks sort of like it belongs. Everything looks sort of finely balanced. But would you say that's a maroon or a burgundy? It's got a real royal feel about it. And yeah, I've seen it with the black shorts, I think, and the black socks. And I think if you got this out and someone really, like one of the big accounts retweeted it, it would go viral. It really would. I think the fact that sort of only we know about it here at the moment means that I think we're quite blessed. But yeah, no, I think we should do very, very, very well.
Yeah. There's always one moment in this show where Josh gets so emotional that I do believe he has to look at the camera and have a little weep. And that's that moment. And it's gold, Josh. I absolutely love it. And you're not wrong in everything you've said. It's a beautiful, beautiful shirt. It's almost making me want to change teams already and actually support.
Oh, look at you already changing teams.
I'm all about the shirts. I'm fickle. You know this. It's whoever looks prettiest on the field. That's what it's all about. James, we'll come to you next. You had it 4th in your list. Can you add anything?
A few reasons I marked this down. I mean, I love the color. I love the color scheme. The sort of the badge as well. The club crest is a great badge. I agree with Sean on that one. I just think a lot of kit fans will look at this, and I know that a lot of them are sticklers for symmetry, and just the sort of the cut over the shoulder could be a bit of a bugbear on people. I don't think it would look as good with a split, like a straight down the middle split, because that would sort of eat into the sponsor a little bit. But yeah, just for me, could they have done a little bit more on sort of the black sleeve with a bit more colour there with the maroon? I don't know. I'm not saying the full sleeve, but just at least on the sort of on the finish there. I don't know. I mean, now Josh has spoke so poetically about it, I kind of feel like I'm putting it down. But
oh, no.
I love the colour. I'm a fan of the collar as well. Although the sort of the triangle sort of at the Adam's apple at the neck area, it's okay. But that I sort of mark it down for that as well. But for me, the symmetry side of things is what I'm marking it down on. And just if it could be a little bit more creative with the straight black colour, I think it would probably have been a little bit higher on the list.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Adam, we'll finish off for you then. Second in the list. So, firstly, tell us why this shirt is so great, and also why should I already flip flop and go and support LRSC? Can you tell us why?
Well, again, this is as close as I've ever been to wanting to do a tie for first, and I was genuinely tempted. I am obsessed with this. I don't think it's quite at the level of Josh, but it's pretty damn close to it. I will agree with James that the collar is where it slightly detracts for me. I just think there's a little bit too much going on where it's kind of stretchy but kind of formal. And I don't even mind the gold band around the outside of it, but that's the only area I don't like. And the reason that's where my agreements with James end, and I'm going to challenge James here. If you have it AA, can you flip back to 2021, their last year's shirt, and you'll understand even more why this makes sense. So I know you didn't advocate to go straight down the middle, James, but now with the size of One Soccer, they pay my salary, so I'm not going to say anything bad about One Soccer, but it's an objectively big logo. So with the new version, it gets it in without cutting it off. And by doing that, it's also so unique. Like I was trying to think of something where you have the slash. It's like a half sash that's off center to the point where it stops you and you want to look at it and know more about it. And I was worried at first that the back of the shirt wouldn't have the symmetry as well. And it would just be all black. And to me, that'd be a loss, but it doesn't. It does the same thing, just in the opposite directions. It sort of slashes to the right to sort of fit all together. It's perfect. It's night out material. Like this would be my color palette. I have a red leather jacket and like ripped black jeans, and I would rock the hell out of this thing at any pub, any club. I'd have no problem doing it. It is nicer than their alternate as well, which is an all white with gold piping, which is obviously a big part of their identity. And it's got that cavalry collar, which I know not Josh, James, you weren't a super big fan of how sort of thin it is, but it is nice to have the wheat textured in. I want to add too about the crest, the emblem, because it's pretty dang cool, especially as someone who comes from a military family like I do. So AA, if you can actually zoom into that crest as much as you can. Again, here's what it is. So it was designed to be reminiscent of a military medal, and it drew its inspiration, color scheme, and shape from the Victoria Cross and other medals of honor. So the V emulates the folded ribbon part of the bottom of the medal, and the circle below the V and the W lettering is the shape of the medal itself. You get the name of the city in there as well, which is important when you name it Valor. The Valor of also sort of shares itself with the military feel and the honoring that they wanted to do there. So having Winnipeg on there when your team name isn't Winnipeg, I think it's a really good idea. The logo, like the V and the W itself, you get Valor and Winnipeg again. That's more good symmetry. And also a nod to the Blue Bombers, which is the Canadian football, the gridiron football team that they share their home with and share their owners with. But it's just super clean. Then, of course, the arc of wheat at the top, which is the agriculture industry, which is massive in Manitoba, is one of our prairie provinces. So that and Pacific, the two best crests by a mile. And this shirt, like I could, depending on my mood, it's first or it's second with Cavalry. I just like that it's so simple and yet so bold. And I feel like it's a conversation starter for me.
Massively. And you convinced me I'm now a Valor FC fan. So there we go. It's fine. It's fine. The season's not started. No one's won. No one's lost. So I can do what I want, James. Shut up. So there we go. Number one on our list with 36 points, almost getting a full house. And it's fully deserving so, as Josh emotionally told us at the start. It is a great shirt. So there we go. That is it for this week in terms of shirts. Got to say, massive thanks to Adam. I know he's got to go very, very soon. But no, Adam, thank you so much for telling us more about the league and, giving your opinions on these shirts. It's been massively insightful and brilliant, mate. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. I've been a fan of the Kitsman for a while and getting to meet the other two. I feel like I kind of know Sean. Like I feel like I know enough about Sean now just based on the night out ratings that I feel like I need to go on a night out with him to experience it when he is recovered and when I'm out of self-isolation as well from COVID. I shouldn't be making fun of you in this moment, but hey, it was a blast. And just thank you guys for spotlighting the CPL. You especially, Josh. I know how much you love what they've done and what Macron's done. I guess a parting thought I want to add, cool thing about the kits this year as well. They're eco. They're environmentally friendly. They're made with 13 plastic bottles. So it's their effort to try and be sustainable, try something a bit different. I'm curious to see how the players feel as they wear them, as they sweat in them, and how it holds up compared to the others. But I see no reason why it wouldn't be a success. So just thought that was an important note. But yeah, I really appreciate you, gentlemen. This was a ton of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my door and my Twitter DMs are always open for people who have questions about the Canadian Premier League because I love it and I want you to love it too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people should be going to check it out. So it starts on, I believe, in Canada, the 7th of April, and it'll be the 8th of April over here, I believe, about 12:30 in the morning. So, yeah, if you're wanting a new league to go and check out, I think the Canadian Premier League is one, definitely after tonight, them kits and the stories behind the clubs. It's definitely one you should all be checking out. And go make sure you follow Adam as well. Adam, what's your socials for people that want to
it is at Adam K. Jenkins, nod to my Welsh grandfather with the middle initial, and somebody else is at Adam Jenkins, so I just make up that other part, but I had to choose something.
Brilliant. And as always, I say to every guest, if you ever want to come on and rank with us, then you are more than welcome. Not just Canadian Premier League. If you have any other team, any other league or whatever, you've always got an invitation, mate. Most definitely.
I appreciate it. I have a feeling that the three of you and maybe Sean as well will be in a group chat or something talking about the alternates because I'm not just blowing smoke. There are some pretty statement pieces coming very, very soon, including 2 of them today that I'm excited for. But thank you guys. It was a ton of fun.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Josh, as always, it's great to have the granddaddy, the big boy, the king of the kit world
None
on
of
the
those
show.
things. None of those things.
You're a liar.
So wait, Double A, you're daddy now and Josh is granddaddy?
I'll take that.
The Godfather.
You can be the Godfather, the Godfather.
Yeah, why not?
Actually, no, because James is actually the Godfather.
I'm technically Godfather, so
so he is the Godfather.
yeah.
So
sort that out amongst yourselves.
So there we go. But no, Josh, as always, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, I guess, mate. It's one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been really good. Just appreciate having me on as you always do. Really appreciate it, mate.
Great stuff. Just a quick comment here. So I don't know if this is due to the show, but thanks for your time, guys. In COVID isolation 2, I ordered 2 shirts to look forward to, though. That's amazing.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Well in.
You'll have to let us know in the comments which 2 shirts you've ordered. We'd like to know, most definitely. James, anything you want to say?
No, as always, great for the interaction. Any ideas for shows in the future, let us know. The more people put into it, the more they'll get out of it, because we're always up for little interesting things. I've really enjoyed it tonight, Adam. Really enjoyed your input. You've said your DMs are open. I will be asking obscure questions about the CPL for sure. So you've opened yourself up there to that a little bit. There's a time difference as well, so don't think I'm trying to creep you out. But yeah, but no, follow everything at Talking Kit and just hit us up in the socials.
Yep, and I'll just echo that, finish it off. If it is your first time Talking Kit, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Like I say, we are trying to grow. Like the video, share it with your friends, and let us know what shirts you'd like us to rank. We'll be back next Wednesday with another full kit rankers. It's been great, and we will see you very, very soon. Make sure you keep it Talking Kit.